Today on the show we have Joey Chiu, Metal Gear Solid 2 superfan known for being first in line at several PlayStation hardware launches and for being included on Sony's PlayStation mural.
I've been to Japan twice, have not had sake.
What are you doing? I'm furious with you now, because that's like, those are life goals for me, man.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency. Someone linked me to an Onion article recently that was like, man hasn't heard or seen a single true thing in 6 years, and said this reminded me of you.
Aww.
Oh man.
So yeah, what did we want to cover first? I see the top point here is like our doctor's note, I guess.
Yeah, and Fingers, you can cut this out if you want. But I'll just be quick about it. So, in case anybody is wondering why we did not have an episode last week, my dad had a stroke, which kind of caught everybody off guard. And, thankfully he's doing much better now. Seems like, the best case scenario all around, and he's at home recovering and relaxing and being surrounded by loved ones. But took some time off to kind of process that, and that's been kind of a sobering thing for me. Anytime a parent gets ill like that, it sort of changes your perspective on a lot.
Oh yeah,
but that's so thankfully, like I said, everything seems to be on the up and up now, and I am back and ready to go.
I'm so happy for you, dude. Seriously, I'm glad things are kind of stabilizing.
Yep.
Yeah. It's you don't really see that coming. Least of all him.
Yeah, it's good to hear he's back on track and just recovering and
go hug your parents.
Definitely.
Call them, hug them, spend time with them. You never know how long you're gonna have.
Father's Day is right around the corner, guys. Make sure you have a gift.
Yep, make it as corny as possible.
Yep.
Themed ties all around.
And don't give it to them in like Arlington National Cemetery, please.
Oh Jesus.
Unless it's like thematic. God, I pissed somebody off there. Anyways,
and we're back.
As far as what I've been playing, God, I hate to admit this, but I had a friend reach out and suggest, hey, why don't we get the crew together one last time, and we try out like WoW Classic, since a bunch of us just had the same like history in WoW. And then like the day after we decided to do that, like Blizzard was like, oh, by the way, guys, Burning Crusade's coming out in like 3 weeks. Good luck. So I've been like rushing to get to 60 before next Tuesday. And it's so funny because my birthday is actually in, what is this? I'm sorry, I'm really tired. I have to do
You're making this sound like Ocean's 11.
2 hours and 30 minutes, and I haven't thought about that date. I've just been thinking about like June 1st. Like, I gotta get this finished before June 1st, man. So that's been my life. And then outside of that, and I know we want to talk about that as well, I've been doing a lot of the New Game Plus shit for Resident Evil. Don't let me be the only person, because that was really shameful to admit.
We're gonna come back to Resident Evil, but Joey, what have you been playing?
So did anybody happen to beat a game made by Konami this week? Because I finally hit 200% completion of Pixel Puzzle Collection, as it turns out.
I was thinking, like, is he talking about Bomberman?
Yeah,
I was about to say, I was like, how do you beat Bomberman? Like,
you gotta get all the skins. I got the backpack for Big Boss. It's pretty cool.
Nice. But it was like, because you do the 100, because it's like their Pixel Puzzle Collection is like their Picross riff, for free. You can play it on the phone, and it's just a bunch of because every puzzle, as they are in these Picross type games, like it's iconography, or like characters or icons from whatever thing they're based off of. There's Pokemon Picross and Mario Picross and all that. And Konami, they just dug into the well. They had Tokimeki Memorial, which is funny because I'm saying that first instead of saying Metal Gear. I mean, like instead of saying Gradius or Castlevania, the things that people actually played here in the States. But, there was a bunch of stuff like, again, Bomberman, all that stuff, all those characters. And I was like, yeah, this is a fun time to play for free. And I occasionally get fed pop-up ads for Pro Evo Soccer over and over and over. Because this game came out a couple of years ago, and I remember like when it did hit, like the ads were fresh for Yu-Gi-Oh app or Castlevania. Like when Castlevania or Gradius had those download versions, that was like the collections, and I was like, they would serve those ads up. And nowadays it's just Pro Evo. I'm like, sure, I guess. And how's this look like in Japan? You get ads for their fitness clubs. What's going on? But it was fun just to hit that landmark. Yeah,
I've always wanted to visit a Konami health club, just for the record. You guys are talking about like eating fish and stuff. I'm like, I want to go there, get fit.
I think I'd just go as far as hit like the front desk and take a free like business card that has the Konami logo on there, and then just jet. I was like, I ain't got no residency. You ain't gonna lock me up in here. You can't. You can't get me to sign up.
I wonder how many people they have, like how many customers come in just like to be like, I'm here, and then just walk away.
I don't know. I mean, in Japan, it's probably very different because they're more associated with that. You don't really think about it,
That's
or
true.
Like insurance or like whatever, like other mundane thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for us, it's like they are the video game company, but in Japan, they're multifaceted. So it's probably a different perspective. But yeah, I would absolutely go there and steal a business card.
Right. Well, I mean, it would be the same thing for me. And going back to my analogies, for me, it would be like going into the mall and seeing that like Samsung had a smoothie shop now. It'd be something that, like you said, makes sense because they're a conglomerate, but at the same time be like, well.
Hi, would you like a large Galaxy Swirl?
Oh man, that actually sounds really good though.
They've got like that edible glitter in it.
Oh man. It's better than like a Herbalife shop.
Like a Milky Way.
Yeah, so that's the one game I feel comfortable talking about on here.
Picross?
Yeah. It was, and like it was, beating it and being like, oh, hey, I can delete this off my phone with a clear conscience now.
Well, now you have to move on to Frogger and Toy Town.
Mm.
I was about to say, did it have any like gotcha mechanics?
Oh, definitely not. No.
Okay, I was like,
I was impressed. I was genuinely like, oh, y'all ain't making any like none of that. Oh, that's cool.
Pull a lever to unlock a puzzle.
That's really, really weird when you think about it. Given their shift to mobile development, you would think that they would lean harder into gacha, since it seems like that's where most of the money is. And to be fair,
I reckon there's at least one gacha game by Konami in Japan that has internationally go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I know there's a big baseball game that's like their big moneymaker in Japan. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but
Chiu Power Pro.
Yeah, that's it. And like, I think that's a gacha, isn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm surprised that Pro Evo game, that mobile one that keeps getting advertised to you, I'm surprised that's not gacha, because I know that like even EA with FIFA, they've gotten super like gacha-y with the console game.
It might be. I mean, they've got their eFootball PES 2021, which that's a mouthful. But like, it's not a huge game in the US, but it's also not really for the US. Like, that's a game that's bigger globally, and I think that's where their strategy has sort of been pointed for a while.
Well, have any of y'all played the Super Bomberman R, the online one yet?
I have it downloaded. I'm ready to go.
I know I have no excuses, but I haven't played it. I just have it downloaded.
It's free download, but there's some just like cosmetic stuff, and you can get little different like celebrations and sayings and dances and shit. So.
Well, it was getting review bombed on Steam, actually, because
really?
What else?
I guess I mean, some of it was your typical like, oh fuck Konami, like that kind of crap.
Lame.
Right? Like, come on, it's 2021, get over it. But I guess a big part of it was that you have to pay $9.99 for the premium edition, which unlocks a bunch of things. And one of the things that it unlocks is the ability to create private lobbies. Otherwise, you can only sort of play randomized, which is, if I remember right, isn't that how like Tetris 99 worked or whatever it was called?
I mean, that's like that's what the game is. It's like it's one of those like just like battle royale type things that like just starts at I think it's 64 maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, dude, we're freaking spoiled rotten.
I mean,
I
you give people a free game and they're gonna find something wrong with it.
I've played about like 10 rounds on it. I've gotten like top 10. Like I haven't won yet, but it's fun.
Keep trying. I believe in you.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool though. You can use like Naked Snake or whatever, and like that's the one person that you have unlocked at the beginning, at least for me it was. And his like special ability, you just press X and then he goes invisible for like, I don't know, about 10 seconds or something, and just nobody can see where you are, so you can just run up behind somebody and place a bomb real quick, or if you have like multiple bombs, just place one real quick, run, and then place another one. And just like,
that's kind of great.
Yeah, so
that's the good shit.
You've just got stealth camo and Bomberman and just fucks people up. I did get a couple people with that. That's very satisfying when you do.
I'm just glad David Hayter's getting work as Snake, even if it's for Bomberman.
Yeah.
I remember when he was like back on Smash for Ultimate, and I was like, man, what a bookend for that guy.
But I mean, did he even record new lines for that? Because I think they just recycled what was there for Brawl.
I think you
might be right. Yeah.
Were there not any new codec conversations for the new characters?
No,
I don't think so.
Oh, actually, yeah, that might have just been a Brawl thing. That's right. Yeah.
Because those were pretty cool. Enjoyed those a lot.
Gotta imagine, it's like, who's the Sephiroth guy?
But he'd have to record like 50 new conversations.
What's going on?
Stay away, Snake. We'll chop your waifu in half.
Oh my god.
Just Raiden just pops in. He has such a long sword. What's going on? Anyway.
What was the there was one recording, there was one codec conversation in Brawl that he had where he's like, nope, just don't like him. What was that?
Is that Luigi?
I think it was Luigi. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
was it?
Yeah.
Or no, I think, was it Sonic?
I'm pretty sure it was Luigi, because then like Colonel was like talking about how Luigi's always like second banana, and then eventually it towards the end, I'm pretty sure it pivots into him being AI Colonel, and then he's like, Colonel. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes.
Oh no, but it wasn't that. It was some reference that. No, it was Sonic. It was Sonic because I guess where he was like, something about Sonic, or something about this hedgehog just rubs me the wrong way, and I just don't like him. And I guess that was a joke that got lost in translation because Akio Atsuka voices Robotnik.
Oh, very
nice.
Or something like that. I like, someone's gonna correct me on that, but I think that's what it was.
I thought it was because like hedgehogs, like if you try to pet them, they're like, it hurts.
Yeah, I thought there might have been like a snake hedgehog type thing, like the animals.
Also possible, yeah.
But
true.
Yeah, I think it was like, okay, I'm gonna Google this now. Like, hold on.
I always like listening to the conversation about Captain Falcon in Japanese because Otacon's Seiyu also voices Captain Falcon from the anime. So he's not like trying to sound like Otacon saying Falcon Punch. He's just straight up going Falcon Punch as Captain Falcon.
It was It was Akio Atsuka's father who voiced Robotnik. That's why.
Okay, it reminds me of how like Japan was spoiled in MGS2, where they had like Meryl's VA voicing like Olga as well, and then like the Snake VA voicing Solidus and Snake. And it's not as if I'm like upset about that. Like I get that it was an artistic choice, but
yeah,
it's a cool like meta narrative. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a layer we're kind of missing without having those same voice actors.
Yeah.
Right. You know what would be sick though if they had updated the voice acting with like the fact that, well, it'd be kind of awkward, but like Chico is voiced by the same dude who does Pit.
Yeah.
Could, that would be interesting.
I think actually like with Smash Brothers Ultimate, like with the story mode, you go through different like characters that are particularly aligned with, like tangibly aligned with the character you picked. And I'm pretty sure one of the levels you fight Chico.
I would have to,
Or not Chico, I'm sorry, Pit. As one
Like
of the
Chico for
fighters.
Smash. There we go. Just but as long as it's based on that concept art where like
I was about
the
to
bottom
say.
half of his jaw is missing and he looks all
wow.
like hardcore. Like
You can
that's
throw
not going to happen.
screws at
but-
people. Foot screws. That's his B.
His final smash is he pulls the headphone jack out and his chest and like power shoots out or something. I don't know. This is why I'm not in charge of
You
Smash.
just hear "Here's to you" the whole way for the rest of the fight.
The sound wave just does about 35 damage.
This pirate crackdown's a go.
Now you got me looking at like Smash dialogue because they had Palutena, and have you guys ever played what was it? The-
Uprising? Kid
Yeah,
Icarus?
Kid Icarus Uprising.
I did
They-
not.
There's like the dialogue really kind of carries that game, and it's
I've heard that about
Palutena
it, yeah.
Palutena trying to like teach Ike about the world or teach Pit about the world and shit like that. And they put it in Smash, and now you got me looking for what they say about Snake.
Right, that was the substitution. They had those conversations instead of the codex. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's it.
So we were talking about the voice actors and like English and Japanese side, and it's just funny because like something the past year being the past year was, and having a lot of time to catch up on stuff or just pick up stuff that you hadn't done in a while, and I was like, you know what, you only live once. I think I will give this Gundam thing a shot.
Oh Lord.
So that's exactly what I did. I went through the series like the series art, like I guess auteur sort of director Yoshiki Tomino. Like I spread through his run of what people call the Universal Century, like that whole like timeline run of like main stories around the conflicts in that whole franchise. But they wrote between Federation and Xeon, and there was a lot of just because voice actors, you do the job, and there's a lot of jobs you do for anime and games and whatnot. A lot of crossover between Metal Gear and Gundam, like a lot. In
I've
English
heard
and
that.
Japanese. David Hayter voices Bernie Wiseman in 0080 War in the Pocket.
You're going to hate me. I know very little about Gundam. I've seen very little of Gundam. I don't know.
And that was
what
exactly
but
me for until last year. So I
And
totally
it's-
get it.
It's been on my list of like I need to catch up on this. I need to understand it. Like this is a priority at some point I know that I have to get to, but for some reason I haven't. I guess it's so daunting. Like if you look at the list of
Yeah,
Gundam
there's so many
series,
variations and different
Yeah, even if you just look at
series
the
types,
like I said, the UC stuff, it is
Right.
quite a lot.
so
Which is
where should I start? Just like on Mobile Suit Gundam and just watch the original?
absolutely because original 0079 Mobile Suit Gundam, that first like 30-ish episode run, totally.
Yeah.
Just like people will say, oh, just watch the condensed 3-movie part. Don't. You lose so much. There are so many like episodes they did like for because it's a weekly television
Yeah.
show they did for kids, and there were a lot of stories that they don't put in the movies that make that show. Like you'll get an episode where it just focuses on like the Principality of Xeon, like the focuses on an encampment, like a group of soldiers who are like, I hear if we take out the Gundam, we can go home. We can just go home. We're done with this shit, and we can just go home and leave Earth. So it's just an episode. It's called Time Be Still. It's one of the best episodes of original Gundam, and it's not in the movie at all. And it's like, what did you guys do? And like, what they did was they tried to make a thing that people could just hit the theater and watch, and maybe update some animation. But like a lot of I sound like a fanboy, obviously, but like a lot of the soul, like the stuff that makes Gundam
Yeah.
is like seeing those like not just seeing like both sides, but seeing all sides of this encompassing conflict that happens to like encompass like many in show like decades, and and it's
I
just really
completely
great
get
stuff.
that. Yeah, I completely
yeah.
get that because they did the same thing with Standalone Complex, where they did the Individual 11 movie and the Laughing Man movie, where it was just like you said, they condensed those primary plot point episodes into just sort of like a 2-hour feature, but it loses everything in the middle.
Like, I'm pretty sure like the Laughing Man movie didn't have the part, like that's the episode where like that one like spider tank was taken over by that person.
Yes, that's my favorite episode of Standalone Complex. Yes.
Yeah, or like the episode where it's basically breathless, but it's that one like a robot model, android model that's based on like the likeness of his actress, and then this one guy was having all the other models killed off so he could have the one. And I'm sure, I bet that wasn't in the Laughing Man movie either.
I don't think it was. It's been a while since I watched that, and I just remember thinking like, this is not good.
And I happen to specifically remember those episodes because Standalone Complex, I only watched the first 4 episodes because I remember just watching the UMD over and over on my PSP, and it was those first 4 episodes, and that's what I remember. But yeah,
Solid State Society, the movie they did, the OVA, that was really good as well. Because that was a standalone, ironically, or fittingly, I guess. But that was sort of like closing out that entire arc, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it was like the last statement on that strain of Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess now we're back with SAC 2045.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll stay being a thing. It's a popular franchise. And so is Gundam. And today they announced a bunch of Gundam Seed. And there's a lot of stuff. Like, even if you just look at the stuff that's like the core, like Universal Century, like one line of history, one timeline, where they try to tell this like story about like between Earth and space and everything. It is very daunting. Like the way I would say is definitely like do it chronologically. Not like release order. Not like don't watch a thing and then watch a thing that happens chronologically the year after that. Like 0080 is great, but I would say watch that after you've watched like those first 3 TV shows and then the big movie.
Right, because they'll build on top of each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then it's like because it is hilarious. Like you talked about how you didn't watch a lot of Gundam, and like neither did I. Like it was a thing that it was just on TV. It was on Toonami. Like I would watch an episode of Wing or so. Or G Gundam. Like I saw the ones that I happened to be like in front of the TV in front of the episodes that mattered, the ones at the beginning and the ones at the end, the big fights, and I was like, this is cool. Robots are cool, and and like they played them like we got the shows in like this different order. We didn't get any Universal Century thing until 2001, and then they stopped broadcast because 9/11 happened, and you're like, oh shit.
The only Gundam series I ever watched and had sort of a lasting interest in, and I'm sure that there are Gundam fans who are going to hear this and want to put me on a pike, but it was when they aired 8th MS Team on Toonami. That was kind of what, like, that caught my interest. For some reason, Wing didn't, and I don't know why. Maybe I was just too young to appreciate it, but I know I can hear you judging me right now.
No, I'm thinking through it, like, because I also like I said, I haven't seen a lot of Wing. I did see 08th MS Team. A lot of people actually do love 08th MS Team because is that
how it's pronounced? Is 08th MS Team? Because it's been a long time.
I'll give you this. Peter Cullen said 8th MS Team in that Toonami promo, so you know so I get it, and like it makes sense. Just say 8th, but like some people are like 08th, like because and like in the reading it out in the Japanese title, it is 08, but it's like not gonna lose any sleep over it, you know. And like I said, Peter Cullen said it, 8th MS Team. I'm like,
honestly, I can't even remember any of it. I just remember liking it.
Yeah, and definitely like a way like it has some stuff that people really like about it, like the way they lean into, because there's always this delineation, but like, you know, genres are fake, but people like to be like, oh, super robot stuff, and then there's real robots where it's way more hard sci-fi, and 08 does kind of lean more into that, like showing how like the variant Gundam they have in that show is like they need maintenance all the time, and like the fights are like really well animated as all hell. And there's less of the thematic new type stuff that permeates Tomino Gundam, like the stuff that he did in that first initial run from 0079 to Zeta to Double Zeta into the Char's Counterattack movie.
So what's your take on Netflix doing a live adaptation?
Here's where I'm going to be a fanboy about it, because
dead silence.
I'll tell you, that was a day where I had the I had to take a knee. I was like, God, dude, you got the Kong Skull Island guy on this? Really? Really? You got the guy who wants to make a Metal Gear Solid movie and says he's going to do it to Kojima's vision, as if he can't just make a Metal Gear Solid movie. And I am actually, in fact, holding my head in my hands right now as I talk into the mic. But I'm just like, and it's like, people were never, it was going to be hard to be optimistic about this because it is like a Hollywood production. And it's going to, and like, there's a lot going on with Gundam. And when you're going to like, as with anything, in adaptation wise, and it's going to be hard to do a thing like that as a movie. Like, and we'll see if it gets franchised. Like, it's largely happening because Sunrise is like, yeah, the 40th anniversary, let's get this thing going. Let's hit the green light. Why not? And because, we can count how many times Kojima's been like, yeah, Metal Gear movie totally happening. But like, and that's been happening with Gundam for over the years. And now we have like we got Brian K. Vaughan, like exec producing, I think, and writing the thing. And then now Jordan Vogt Roberts is going to direct it. So,
Kojima is back at work, so there is
Yeah.
So, and he's wearing the Holy Mountain shirt, and that's a little concerning. I don't know where we're really gonna go on this next project, guys.
I know so little about that, but just from reputation alone, it seems like, yeah, maybe I should be worried too.
It does end on a really cool thing that, like, spoiler, probably influenced his, just like, if he saw it a while ago, just like the whole fourth wall thing where it breaks almost like a Monty Python like ending where it just like kind of stops and pans out and shows the camera crew and stuff.
On that note about like panning out and like kind of like making you think about like the way you were relating to a media, because after watching that first run of Gundam, I was like, what else has Tomino, like this director, done? And then I was like, oh, this thing called people are talking about, this Space Runway Ideon, this other like anime. He did this right after like that initial Gundam, like the very first Gundam series, like wrapped, and he was like, okay, we got to keep the ball rolling, right? Like when he's talking to the studios or whatever, and like the companies making the anime, and he's like, oh, I'll do this thing. Like the toy companies show this thing about these transforming truck.
Yeah, that's the one with like the Optimus Prime looking mecha, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very red, white, less blue, but like it's like a 3 like trucks and like ships, and they combine into this literal giant, called the Ideon, and it has I guess a fairly known reputation for being like extremely violent for a kids show. Because you think about like this was a show like these are shows made to sell toys, and like shown for kids, and you're just watching this, you're like, wow, you're going for it with this, and you're just like, you're not dumbing this down at all. But then like it's funny because like, and this isn't like me trying to overcorrect because I happen to watch a lot of anime, and so I'm giving it like more breadth, but then like it really does come across as like, well, you're doing this with due respect to what you're portraying on the screen. You're not just being like violent for the sake of the violence, because people like I'm gonna sound defensive, and that's gonna be funny. But like people do like to make those jokes about how it's like the most violent like show, and like Tomino has like this. The director Yoshiki Tomino has this like reputation for being someone who kills off all his characters in his works, which it does happen a lot apparently in a lot. And it happens in Ideon. That's I guess that's a spoiler, but light spoiler.
Whereas Kojima only kills his characters after bringing them back to life at least once.
Yes. It's like, I'm back just in time to die again. And it's like, But yeah, but Ideon hit well, I thought.
Man, you did have a good point the other day, Nitroid, talking about like, Konami's not going to be at E3, but we don't know if Kojima's going to be there or not.
Well, if he's back at work, I mean, okay, we know that Konami has said they're not going to be at E3. All right, so we can put Metal Gear to the side. That's not going to happen right now.
Okay,
whatever they're doing.
This is feeling like an episode of Real Housewives, like following who went to
a party. Love it.
But please continue.
Sony
like,
is also
not saying that's a bad thing.
Let me talk more about Victory Gundam.
Sony is another one though. They're not going to be there as well because they dropped out of E3 a while ago, right? What even is E3 now? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what to even define it as. Like, is it an online event? It's exclusively online now, right? So do you need like to get a pass to watch it online, or is it being brought? Like, what is it? Does anybody know?
I would imagine, if I were to guess an event plan myself, is that they're gonna have like Nintendo Direct-esque like feeds for everybody, and then maybe more interactive, intimate settings for those who get the presser.
I guess.
I'm honestly, I mean, again, this is if I were to do it. I'm sure.
Well, all right.
I don't make money doing this, so
the whole point of Nintendo Nintendo sort of pulled away from E3 as well, but the whole reason like Sony pulled away and E3 was sort of becoming less of a focal point, less, I hate to use the word legitimized, but in a way kinda, it was because these companies were realizing, we can show this stuff off on our own terms, on our own schedule, through the internet, and we don't
call it state of play.
Yeah, like we don't need E3 to do this. So why are we wasting
the news cycle? Yeah,
exactly. So why are we going to all this trouble and putting all this money in and doing, what's the point when we can just handle it ourselves? So the fact that E3 has gotten like Microsoft on board and Nintendo on board, and they seem to be regaining some relevance. Like, what's going on here? Like, why is it that they could come back swinging like this?
Yeah, and Sony would always like put in like the most fucking money into stuff and do the like over the top, just displays and like events.
Oh my god,
like that last one that they did. Yeah,
they had
that
the
hilarious
orchestra the one year
that I was there. I think 2018, and it was just like I was like,
you had to like walk to the different pavilions for each game.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. I wasn't there for any of that stuff. I skipped out on it, but I was just like,
it was hilarious, like watching it online, and then just like having to cut back to like basically the newsroom, and just like they were just awkwardly sitting there and having to talk through a thing.
Yeah.
Between, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it was just like, where are the games at?
I was in one of the theaters that they were live streaming it to, so like we were watching that whole thing as it was happening in a theater, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, I remember getting a giant, because movie theater concessions, like those sodas are gigantic, so they gave like a vanity, like a free like Sony E3 branded cup.
Yep, I've got that cup.
A giant cup right there.
I did, the last year I went to like an actual E3 was the year that Kojima didn't show up. Like the year after his last year being there for Konami.
Oh.
That was the year that like the Elegia trailer was shown off. But what was cool is that I was about I want to say about 10 rows back from the stage at the Sony conference when they announced rapid fire, The Last Guardian's back, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3. And it was like, is this real? Like I didn't know how to process it. And like, after The Last Guardian was shown off again, like Fumito Ueda stood up like 3 rows in front of me. I'm like, oh my god, what? Like it was like I didn't know how to handle any of that, but it was pretty amazing.
That was wild in the theater, like watching that.
Oh, people were screaming when FF7 Remake was like, when it was clear like that's what it was. Oh my god, the sound in that room was something else.
I'm just thinking back to like recording the theater audio, just because I remember I used to do a podcast more regularly as well, and just like I would intersplice that, like the audio from the theater. And I was remembering like when Adam Voice is on the stage and behind him you just see like the live stream looking, like the XMB looking live stream thing, and I just out loud I was like, shut up. Like before he even like pivoted to the trailer.
You know what E3 press conference I wanted to be in person for? That's 2010 Konami Conference.
Oh.
With like Tak
my
Fuji.
god.
And like you will be very sucked and
1 million troops.
Wow.
If you just press XXXYYY XXXYYY again, you will be sucked.
And then
Right.
they had that like awkward like dance game. I don't even remember what that game was
Dance
called.
Masters.
Dance
The
Masters.
Connect
That's right.
thing. Yeah, they had that guy there.
Oh man, that was something else. I think I watched that like 20 times.
Man, can we get Tak Fuji on the show? Because that would be fun.
Dude, I have so many questions for Tak Fuji.
The guy standing behind the other guy, and the way the camera was, it made him look really close.
Yes, the guy was like standing like real close to the guy like right behind him or whatever. I don't remember.
It's like the way the camera was, it made it look like he was looking really just staring daggers at him. And then
Wait, was that Translator San? Was that the joke that
no, that Translator San was for Gran Turismo PSP.
Oh, right.
2010, I think. But yeah, also a freaking God, it's hilarious. Like thinking about Konami and then thinking about Shinta Nojiri and being like, how's that guy doing? I hope he's all right. Like I always thought he was cool. And then like he was there for Never Dead. And he was there for Never Dead, and that guy has like the moment where he hits him on the shoulder, and then he hits like he has that prop thing where his head like comes down, like falls into his hand or something.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh my God, that High School Musical bit.
Did you ever play Never Dead?
No.
I really wanted to like it.
Aww.
I really did, because I love Shinta Nojiri's work
Yep.
on Metal Gear.
Yep.
And he was one of the few people I felt like if Kojima were to step down, this man could step up and take the torch and run with it. Like he was the guy, right? And it seemed like he was being primed to take that role, but I guess when he left, there was an interview, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it here, but he said something like, "Yeah, my boss wanted me to keep making sequels, and I didn't want to do that," something like that.
Yeah.
So I get that. I mean, that's fair. You know, if that's not what he wants to do creatively, I completely get that. But man, what could have been?
Yeah. I feel like I should like replay Metal Gear Acid 1 and 2 just to like with this far removed from being like being like so like head full of like wanting to follow along with how like the Kojima saga of Metal Gear goes, like and just wanting to see like reassess, being like, yeah, how was that like other strain of Metal Gear like as a story, like how did that go? I have like vague memories of it because I did play and beat both games, but like I would like to like reassess them. Definitely.
It seems like that's sort of an attitude that's growing too, now that, you know, the saga's over and Kojima's gone. People are going through those other games looking for more than what they were used to, and like those are getting more attention now, strangely enough. So yeah, I don't know.
And I always did like actually like the turn-based like strategy RPG thing with randomized actions based on your card deck. I was like, you know, this actually plays really fun. Like I wouldn't like, even if this wasn't Metal Gear, like this is a fun game. How has nobody made this again? You know?
But yeah, well, before we get off of E3, I don't know. You think Kojima's going to show something? I mean, E3 is sort of his thing, but at the same time, you know, he's sort of working with Sony very directly now, and if they're not at E3, then could he be? Like, I don't see him going there without Sony.
I bet if like he asked Jeff Keighley, like his bestie, like, yo, can I drop by? Maybe I can drop by or like do a Zoom call and like be a thing of it.
Oh,
he
right.
would totally do that, and then like they would talk through like, oh, what's next for the great Hideo Kojima? You know, have that kind of like story, like, and that's, I guess like we were talking about like what E3 is like going to be doing now, like why like after last year, like now they're trying to come back with a vengeance, so to speak. And it's like that would be a way to do it too, like maybe start pivoting to having that sort of conversation. But you know, we got to see how things are.
You
Show
might
up
have
on
like a
Summer
little
Games
5
Fest.
second trailer, like a little 5 second trailer for us or something, you know.
Oh yeah,
Just a little teaser thing where we're like, we just walk away confused. We're like, okay, I'll take that.
Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding or
like in the frame of the Zoom call, like suddenly someone pops in and it's the actor that's the main guy for his next game. You know, that sort of thing. You know,
they're like
have some reveal. It doesn't have to be like a thing that they rendered specifically. But yeah,
right beside each other, and that like new immersive view where you're like standing beside somebody on the Zoom call. But yeah, no, I do remember his tweet saying, you know, I'm at work. I felt the energy of that tweet. Um, I do think it might be an opportunity for them to just do like a one-on-one. But like the blogger inside me is thinking as well, what about that guy who posted the Ludens with the Xbox or whatever? I forget what it was exactly. The Xbox guy.
Oh, Phil.
And they're like, well, Sony's not
like
here.
in the back of his in the background, right? Like
Yeah, that
in the
Sony
Zoom
light was
background,
up.
like
Yeah.
in his bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Guys, I have a picture of me meeting Kojima at the Smithsonian from 2012. Do you think I might be working with him?
Post it.
I don't know. Hopefully we get some news at E3 because it feels like we're in like a drought for sure. It's just we're all just kind of going through our backlogs and still playing Resident Evil 8 and stuff. There's
It always feels like a drought when it's like
we're starting to feel those rippling effects.
Yeah.
Dam's gonna break soon.
Talking about like selfies with Kojima at the Smithsonian, and I was thinking, yeah, I never did get a selfie with Kojima, like ever.
Well, you've met him a couple of times though.
I did get a selfie with Kenny Maizumi. I did do that.
I got one too. Ken's awesome.
Yeah, Ken's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
Ken's good
He
people.
is super nice. He did not have to give me any attention when I met him, and he did. The guy is the real deal.
I got a picture with that old snake statue. Hell yeah. The Konami HQ.
Yeah.
I still want to go there someday if they'll let me in the door. I don't think they will.
Shoot on sight.
Shoot on sight.
Cypher up there just flying around.
They've got a poster up by the front desk that says, "Do not let this man in the building." But it's just my avatar.
They don't even let you on the elevator that takes you up to the floor that they're on. And I was like, nah, son.
It's like biometrics.
The elevator makes the fucking Metal Gear sound that goes like.
Damn,
Just like,
damn
shit,
that
got
hurts.
me.
Maybe I'll take that picture of Kojima and make it like it's already on like my Instagram somewhere. Make it a Patreon reward.
Right, because, yeah. Oh, man.
Milk that cow. No, I'm just kidding.
That Kojima picture of him at E3 drunk with the beer in his hand.
That is my favorite picture.
Yeah.
I'd
Is
love
that Rolling Rock?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think I have it somewhere. Hold on.
I always think it's a Heineken or something because it's green. It was a green bottle, but yeah, could have been a
Rolling Rock. The official beer of Hideo Kojima.
game developers. They're people like you. But like more people could stand
Man.
to internalize that.
Yeah. If people knew about how like development worked and things called backlogs and shit like that, oh man.
There's a lot of alcohol involved.
So yeah, do we want to revisit RE8?
We've all beat it. I think the spoilers are kind of out there. So
Joey, I know you said to me earlier you didn't get a chance to play Resident Evil 8 yet, right?
Yeah.
Is that on your to-do list?
Well, it is insofar as I would like to beat RE7 on PlayStation VR before, so in that way. But I'm totally, y'all can have the conversations because like, for me, it's like I play the game and that's my experience, but I totally enjoy the conversations as well. So y'all can just totally chat through it. I'll still be here. I'll be listening intently.
Plug your ears during spoiler parts.
Okay.
And then we'll get you through it.
Yeah, sure.
You absolutely play 7 on VR, man.
Mm.
Like, not even kidding. That's one of the best things ever.
It's true.
So I've heard. Yeah,
I waited to play 7 until I had access to PSVR, and I'm so glad I did because it without it, it's a good game. With it, it's an amazing game.
you think it would make 8 better though? Like this game got a little Call of Duty in certain parts where it was just straight up, just running around and shooting. I don't know how that works in VR really, but
I have some thoughts on that, but Daze, I know you've also got some thoughts on this, so you go first. I wanna know what you think on this specifically.
About like if it was in VR, if it
Yeah.
was scary.
Yeah.
I was thinking more from a combat perspective too. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like they would have to make it a bit more on rails if it wanted to be like sustained and like a VR type deal. The fucking baby part, I would not want to do that in VR.
Jeez.
Tell you what. But I know like last time we talked about it, it was less of a discussion and more of like Nitroid popping off.
Yeah. All right. So okay.
He's gushing
All right.
about it these days. He's still,
I am not
he's like,
gushing
he's
about
like,
it.
I'm on my third
No,
playthrough.
no,
I'm OP as shit.
He's talking about it more than I am now, and I'm like, dude, shut up! I'm trying to get to level 60. Just kidding.
All right, so I am on my 4th playthrough, and
Oh my
I'm on
God.
my third. I'm on my 4th, you bastard.
shut up and let me finish. I'm not coming out of this unscathed.
This is your Village of Shadows playthrough.
This is my Village of Shadows playthrough. Okay, so I mean, I will be honest. You are the reason I went through and started playing it again, because I felt like you had enough to say that convinced me I did not give it a fair shot. So I went back and I really wanted to tear this thing apart. And you know, I'm not sure if I have all my thoughts organized, but I have softened on it significantly. I'm having a good time. I think my main issues are, God, and it's so hard because before I think I had too much distance from it, and now I think I'm almost too close to it, if that makes sense. Because I can speed through it pretty quickly now. I mean, I'm on my Village of Shadows run, so it got really hard really fast. But then once I sort of unlocked all the weapons and got them upgraded, even Village of Shadows became too easy.
Wow. And I remember you saying like, oh, even with the Infinite Magnum, this shit is ridiculous.
That first segment of the game where you're being surrounded by the lichens is brutal on Village of Shadows. And even with the Magnum, I died at least like 3 or 4 times before I finally got through it. But then once you get out of that, and I think maybe it was like a psychological thing where I had it in my head that this was going to be harder than it was, and then I started like breaking that down, it stopped being as difficult. And I'm still having a good time. It's definitely harder, but I'm not sure what that mode is balanced for exactly. I know you and I have talked a bit about how like there's going to be some kid out there who's going to, knife run Village of Shadows, and it's going to be ridiculous to watch, right? Like I'm waiting for that. I want to see the person who does that. But it seems too difficult for basic weapons and too easy for maxed weapons. So somewhere in the middle there, I guess, is where your best experience is going to be, but I haven't quite figured it out. I don't know.
They did say that they were going to make it a lot more enemies and make them a lot more frantic, but they dialed it back. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know. Just like during playtesting, they said it was just getting a little too crazy. So I don't know. This is where they landed.
The main changes I've noticed are that any hit will take you basically 2 hits and you're dead, right? If you're at full health, 2 hits, you're down. The first health takes you to basically dead. The second one, you're done. If you're below full health, any hit will kill you for the most part. They've put enemies in places you might not expect, but not as many as you might think.
That is actually one of my favorite parts about the difficulty rising, because they're very actually, I felt like that the enemy placements as far as difficulty is really, really thoughtful. Like, it'll be during like a chase segment where it's super inconvenient.
Exactly, and that was one of the ones that got me.
Or like a very claustrophobic boss segment.
And then the third one is that, like Fingers said, the enemies are very frantic and they dodge a lot, so it's harder to land your shots when they're bobbing back and forth constantly, right? I guess my biggest issue with the game is, and I know it's a Resident Evil game, but honestly, it's the story. That's my biggest gripe, because I still think Ethan Winters is an idiot. But I kind of think Chris Redfield is a bigger idiot, so I don't know.
I will say this, though. I think I originally agreed with you when he was like, oh, he should have, like, teamed up with Eisenberg. But, like, now that I think about it, I'm like, well...
Yeah.
If somebody
that might not have
threatened...
been the best conclusion.
Yeah, I was like... Yeah. But Ethan Winters, God, he is a fucking idiot. But like, I kind of appreciate that in a way. Like, finding out spoilers. Like, we've been playing like an idiot bioweapon this like whole time.
Yeah.
It's very fitting.
You made a mold.
You said the best thing. The absolute best thing that I've heard about Ethan Winters is what you said when you said he has low emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And that instantly like made him make sense to me. I mean, all of his dumb decisions.
Gonna go save my wife and my baby.
Right, he is not thinking at all other than like what is my situation? React to situation. Are you in my way? Well, I don't care what you have to say. Fuck you, buddy.
It's almost like it's like a next level. Like everybody makes fun of Snake for being like Metal Gear, and
right.
But one, it's like it's a tool for exposition. So I never really minded it that bad. It's definitely not as bad as like some of the shit Ethan Winters says. And my favorite part about him, going back to the emotional intelligence, is for crazy shit in his life, he reacts very subtly, very nonchalant. For not crazy shit, he fucking freaks out. And he doesn't realize that like he's like one of the greatest bioweapons in the history of the series. And yet like he never does anything awful with it. He just wants to save his family. So it's like, it's endearing. I don't know.
Can we find common ground on this, though, that Chris Redfield is acting like a complete moron in this game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they even say he's acting like a fucking moron in the game.
Have a conversation.
Like, 5 seconds. 5 seconds, Chris. That's all. You needed 5 seconds, and you could have avoided this whole thing. And, like, the funny thing is, you didn't even have to have that in order for the plot to progress the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally only there to be a trailer hook.
And it could have been like a co-op experience that way too. Like, all right, cool, let's go do this together. It's like, fuck yeah.
And on that note, with regards to playing it in VR, I think you both sort of hit the nail on the head with regards to the action sections. Most of that game, I think, would work just fine in VR. And it would be pretty freaky. I think the part that would be the most effective for me is when you're in Lady Dimitrescu's cellar, where it's like the wine cellar.
Yeah.
Where it's like flooded, and I'll say no more. Like that in VR would be pretty freaky for me. But when you get to the action segments, they are so fast and so frantic that I'm not sure it works. It reminds me a bit of what was the Chris Redfield gameplay segment like the DLC for 7 called?
Not a Hero?
Yeah, that in VR was not as good.
I didn't even know they had that in VR. Interesting.
Yeah, and it was because it was a little too frantic. You played it more like a traditional shooter. You were meant to it was less of a slow horror experience and more of a fast-paced shooter. You know, they leaned more into giving you a bunch of weapons. And that's sort of the impression I got from the Chris Redfield segment in 8, was like they were trying to sort of throw back to that a bit, but crank it up to 11.
Right.
And yeah, I think, like you said, unless it was on rails, given how you aim in VR with your head, you're just going to give yourself a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I'm having fun with it.
I was farming on hardcore mode before I went into WoW, and I also actually have been doing a lot of mercenaries, and I've been really enjoying it, despite, you know, the content just sort of being really basic for now. Back to your point about, you know, Capcom supporting Resident Evil 7, like, I didn't even know that the DLC was also VR compatible. That just shows how much they supported it. I hope they use mercenaries as like a jump off point, because I would love to be able to play as like Jack Baker on mercenaries, or like
swinging the shovel around.
Right, or like Mia, and have some sort of like special power or some shit like that. Like that's precisely what those type of games, like the battle modes in RE, are for. So,
I mean, do they even have DLC plans for 8?
I mean, I would hope so, given like their history of supporting the mainline franchises. Like I hope it's more like 7 and Remake 2. unless like Remake 3 and as far as DLC support.
Yeah. I mean, Remake 2 didn't even get DLC. I mean,
Yeah,
it was called Resident Evil 3. But, like...
Get out of
Did it?
here.
Yeah. Did it get DLC? Oh, wait, no, you're right. You're right. It got the Ghost survivors. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm completely wrong. You are right.
It was those like what if scenarios of those other characters. Yeah.
I liked those a lot.
Yeah, I want that.
That would be cool. So, you win this round.
Aw, nah, I'm just like, man, I rambled long enough to change somebody's mind. That's both super flattering and really depressing.
I still have my gripes with it. I think 7 is a more holistic experience. I wish that there had been certain segments of 8 that had been expanded more.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the castle. I wish that had been like, half of the game. Because I had so much fun in that part. They really, I mean, God, you can tell when they realized that Lady D was going to be such a big phenomenon. Like, they really leaned into the marketing to make her seem like a bigger deal than she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I always like I was kind of, maybe this is like me being like genre savvy, but I was expecting her just to be like the Act 1 tyrant. It's like even Mr. X was memed pretty hard, but at the end of the day, he's pretty much gone after Act 1.
Yeah, but he still kind of shows up throughout. Like, I don't know what it is, but like Mr. X felt like he was around more than even she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, he still had a presence even after you dealt with him in a gameplay capacity.
Yeah. So here's a question for you then. Given how reactive Capcom tends to be with their design decisions, do you think for Resident Evil 9 they're going to sort of like try to force to meme another character like her?
I hope not.
A 10-foot tall. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I can see them absolutely trying to make that happen again.
I think they're going to follow the same template. Like, clearly they've got something going on with memeing the tyrant. Even Ethan Winters, he's technically a tyrant, and we're all memeing him.
It's so funny that it's supposed to be like the big, bad, scary thing that we like run away from. And we're just like, ha ha.
Oh no, she's going to get me.
Into, like Thomas the Tank Engine and shit. We're just like, ha ha. And just smack it on his butt.
Oh my god. The memes that have come out about, yeah, she was not scary for a moment.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. It was okay. She was an interesting character. I will actually say that, like,
yeah,
I wish she had been in the game more because she was actually interesting.
Yeah, it was cool with the lore that they tied in at the very end, like on a lot of those like papers and stuff where it all comes together. You're like, okay.
I thought if anything, the characters, were pretty unsettling, like how she made the daughters and how they took advantage of the mold to do what they did.
Shout out to Fish Guy.
Oh, Mordeaux or Moreau. Can't remember his name.
Moreau, I think.
Yeah.
The helicopter guy was cool.
I've already seen so many like drawings of Moreau like being sympathized for, and I'm like, dude, he helped a babe, like with chopping up a baby. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
That was like I liked his that gameplay section, especially that boss fight. I mean, the game had a lot of good boss fights, but I liked just like using the environment in that boss fight and like getting around in the water. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
My only gripe with Moreau is that I had to turn on subtitles when he talked. That kind of made me mad.
And I like the tank controls part.
Is that really what it was supposed to be? Like, was that a?
I don't know. That's immediately what I said when that part happened. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, tank controls.
Oh come on.
There was a lot of little subtle stuff. Like I think we were talking about it with Vincent. Like at one point, like Chris is smoking a cigarette, and the way he lights it is like exactly like his character lights it in the FMV from the original game.
Yeah.
I need to watch for that because that's really pretty cool if that's what they did.
I think, like, okay, I'm gonna post this on my Twitter too, but one of the daughters says something like, ha ha ha, your bullets cannot harm me. And, like, I'm pretty sure that's a Juggernaut reference. they were like major like Lost Boys energy for me. I loved them a lot, and and I'm gonna stop after I say this. My favorite like line in the game is other than your bullets cannot harm me is like one of them spawns and she's like, I can't believe Cassandra caused all this mess, and like nobody remembers that line but me, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, they had personality. That's why I wish the castle had lasted longer, because it just had it was bleeding personality.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I get what you're saying by pacing issues. But oh my god, I want to hear this poster story. What are we talking about again?
Okay, so Joey, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit.
Ask me anything
All right.
about crossing the gamer Delaware.
Crossing the gamer Delaware.
There's our title.
Yeah. So for anybody, there are people out there who probably know of you without knowing who you are because they've seen this painting, right?
And maybe
because it was in a commercial, wasn't it? Or was it?
It was like it was a marketing, like definitely a PlayStation like marketing wave for that year 2014.
Yeah, because it was like their big promotional push for the PS4, wasn't it? Or was that for the Pro or for the original? I can't remember.
It was definitely the original. It was before Pro. It was 2014.
Right.
Yeah, E3 2014 was when they were painting that mural. Yeah. Like actually painting it like in real life. There was someone there painting that thing. Yep.
That just completely blows my mind to this day that they had that commissioned. So like I guess if I'm going from memory here, so correct me if I'm missing any details, but there was they had a campaign where they were going to like memorialize a PlayStation fan in a painting, and people voted for it, right?
Yes.
And so I can't remember who the other choices were, but you were in the list because you had shown up for the worldwide launches of several of Sony's systems and were the first in line. And that was sort of what caught their eye, right?
So the way I understand it, because it's funny because I don't even know the whole deal of how I ended up on in that like finalist bracket, like to get voted on, but like so it's like over the years, like I would just like pop up at like whenever they did like a Sony event like in New York City, like they would do like a meetup for fans of like the PlayStation blog, like before they went to PAX East, like they would be like in a hotel and just like set up kiosks and let fans go over there and chat with developers or whatever and play the games. And I met some people there, and like I remember meeting Dr. Richard Marks and Anton Mikhailov before they like unveiled the PlayStation like Move stuff, and like they were there like showing the demo stuff, and I was like, was that you like in that iToy demo going fire? And he was like, yeah, that was. And I was like, hell yeah. So, that happened. Remember 2011 or so when they were doing the world record push for Little Big Planet 2, and they were like, I remember being at that event too, because that was also like a launch event for the game. It hit a point where like apparently like, because then like they also did the place. Okay, the launches that I had been to by then were the PlayStation Vita launch, and then the PlayStation 4 one. Yeah. But then, like, I remember just like going to the PS Vita launch and then being like, I'm 13th in line. I probably could have like called off work or something and like lined up all day. That probably wouldn't have been a great use of time, but it probably would have been cool to get that done. I did get to shake Jack Trenton's hand as he left the store. That was funny. But then, like, because the way the PS4 launch thing happened was they were being like, oh yeah, just drop by and like, play the PS4 games there. Like if you like drop by the Standard Hotel, there was someone else there who actually was one of the finalists to get painted on the mural, who like he was the guy who like went to every single possible event. Like he would like fly to like E3 and like other like conventions and stuff, like where Sony would have a presence. And he got like a rep at some point known as the PlayStation blog stalker. It wasn't good fun, of course. It wasn't good fun. It was good fun, and he liked the nickname as far as I could tell, but like he was the guy who got me the in to when they had the PS4 like launch event at the Standard Hotel because it was there for the whole week, and it was the first few days. It was actually more like for press to go, because that was when like the press would go there and like get on site, pick up their PS4s for their outlets, and then like I guess like also do their those interviews they'd had to do with developers and whatnot, and then play those games and then fly back to wherever. And Monday night, like I remember, like it's just like all my like the people like I was fans of at Sony, like Shaine, who used to be at EGM, and people that I would follow, like the Giant Bomb guys, like they were all there. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm just here, like we kind of hi, and it was funny because like I remember I think it was Brad from Giant Bomb. Shout out to because
you're just dropping names left and right, man.
Yeah, but like Brad was like, "So are you getting a PS4?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a pre-order." And like I remember Jack Trenton was it I
think it was it Sean
Andrew House?
Or was
no,
it?
No, Andrew House was there,
House,
but it was also Jack Trenton. This was before Jack Trenton left because he was at the E3, the big E3, where he was like dropping the mic and shit.
Right.
But like he was like, I remember like one of the like the marketing, like one of the interview like pull quotes was like, "Oh yeah, you'll be able to walk into a store and buy a PS4." And I was like, "Hey," it was like, and I was like, "I don't know if that's true. I'm not being able to pre-order." And then I was like, I told that to Brad, and he was like, "Hang around this week." He was like trying to be as coy as possible, but like in retrospect, I'm like, you guys gave it away that they were gonna sell PS4s right there.
And lo and behold.
Yeah, and then like that morning, Wednesday morning, I saw PlayStation blog. They were like, "Yo, buy a PS4, drop by," and I was like, "All right, all right, I guess I'll do that." And I basically went that morning after reading the blog, like I went straight there, and
you got first in line.
Yeah, and they were like, because I don't know if it's still on YouTube. There's a video where I'm just like out there in the cold morning, and it's like I have a mic on.
Yeah,
I have a mic. I'm holding a mic, and I'm just like, I'm just waiting outside the Standard Hotel. And there's like they do like rapid cuts of like people playing the stuff and like game footage, and then the end of that commercial, that little mini trailer is like, "Sounds like you're first in line," and I'm like, am I? Because I totally did not know if I was. Because like there was no official like line going on there,
Yeah, I remember seeing that, and I was watching that kind of in disbelief because I can't remember where it was. I don't know if you posted it in Discord or on Twitter or something, but you shared it at one point, and I was watching that like, this is surreal, man. Because I had known you from Metal Gear Solid: The Unofficial Site. Years and years back, and I'm like, oh my god, I know this guy. I'm showing my wife, like, come here, check this out, look at this.
You're like that Leonardo DiCaprio, like Wolf of Wall Street pointing at the TV meme.
Right. Exactly. It was exactly that.
Okay. And then I remember like at some point I was like, at some point somebody from Sony was like, "Oh yeah, like you know about Joey, like he has a rep," and I was like, "I have a rep? Oh god,
making an impression."
Fuck.
Yeah.
I get like upset when like people at like the local restaurant or like the coffee shop know my name.
Oh.
For like Sony to have you on a first name basis, oh lord, I would delete my PSN account. Fuck.
So then they do that campaign for the painting, and you're in the list.
Yeah.
And just that, when it got announced that you got it, I probably like laughed for 5 minutes. It was so it was surreal. Not because it was funny, but just like I couldn't believe it. Like that was incredible that they did that.
Yeah.
And like you've got the actual painting too, don't you?
The actual painting, as last I recall, it is still hanging in the cafeteria at Sony Interactive.
Oh, okay.
That's what they told me.
So they kept the
I have
original,
a replica of that painting.
Got it.
Because the marketing company that was part of that did that campaign, at the time, like they were based in New York, and like I was like, they were like, "Oh, you want to drop by?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, okay, yeah." It's like, yeah, you live once, so like they could be that crazy, right? And then they had the replica right there, and they also had the actual painting there for me to take pictures next to, and I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Hell yeah. And they had a replica like made on the canvas thing with the frame, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can take this home." I was like, "Fuck yeah."
Did you have to pose
just,
for
like,
it?
in my room? Huh?
Did you have to pose for it?
I didn't have to, but they were like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Ah, sure."
Well, I mean, when they
Oh,
originally
like posing
painted
for
it,
the
did
actual
you-
mural?
Yeah.
What's funny is they had me send like reference shots of me like in that pose, not necessarily wearing like that blue hoodie with a white shirt and jeans. I was like just wearing like all black, like just black, like short sleeve thing and jeans still. But I was just like, yeah, I'll stand like that. And this was at the time where I was like, I guess they're just getting reference shots for everybody, just in case,
Right.
depending on who's winning. I was like, I didn't win this. And
And you
he was
totally
like,
won.
I was like, oh, I did win this. Awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy.
God, and that mural's got like Big Boss in it, and Scorpion, and like freaking Minecraft Steve next to Claire Redfield, and like it's like Kevin Durant rowing the boat in the back.
Yes, he was the cover athlete that year, I think. Yeah.
It's just,
And it's
Oh
funny,
my
like
gosh.
I joked about it before, but yeah, there's a lot of year one PS4 launch era people in there. I'm trying to remember if Knack's in that. I should look in that. The Traveler from Destiny like is in there. too.
Right,
You have
like
the Hunter and
floating in the background.
Mhm.
Man, that's just surreal.
yeah. I keep thinking like, oh, if I wanted to like edit the mural right now, I would just like change that Traveler into a giant Emil head from Nier. Because we love Nier now, so have a giant Emil head staring down at us. That's fun. That's a
That
good
would
time.
be great. That would
I
be
know. Meanwhile,
perfect.
like us Destiny fans are in an abusive relationship with Bungie. Yeah, so I support that decision.
They
How
lost
is
me when they
the-
took out the loot cave.
Yeah, yes. Like I heard like you can go back to the Cosmodrome now, but I'm like, yo, can I chill in Pride Rock and shoot in the loot cave? Yes, no.
No.
Aw.
It'll make a joke
But I
at
bet
you.
Pride
though.
Rock is still there though. That's what I call that little rocky stand on to be just far away enough to shoot into. Because I was like, yeah, that's looks like yeah. But then like yeah,
It's
while we're
Destiny's
talking about
Summer
Destiny,
of Love.
yeah, apparently Luke, Jesus, the Vault of Glass is back, like that raid, and apparently it has a nice remix element to it. Some things are different, and I'm like, I don't have time to go back into Destiny 2 and enjoy that, but I'm glad people are liking it. It's like, oh God, I really do wish I could just like jump in there and play that, but yeah.
Man, that is a topic that we're gonna have to get into at some point on the show. Like,
I was about to say we're not
Games
doing
as a
this
s-
tonight.
yeah, no, like games as a service have,
You mean gas?
yeah,
Gas.
and I cannot contribute that amount of time, I can't commit that amount of time to a game anymore. Like I have a Final Fantasy 14 subscription that I am neglecting right now. You
Oh
know?
my God, I was gonna say, are you just plugging that money in monthly and not playing it at all?
Kinda at the moment, and that's not good.
That's how they get you.
I remember 2008, and like you listen to people on podcasts going like, I have a WAP subscription, I don't know why I haven't unsubbed. And I was like, things don't change.
Because
God.
I want that sweet squall gear. That's why. Gotta stay active for a year. Damn it,
Are you hyped for the new expansion, Endwalkers?
dude. To be honest, I have only started recently, and I'm not even through Heavensward yet.
Mm.
Yeah, you gotta be patient with new players because they gotta get through all those campaigns
Mm.
bit by
Yeah.
bit. Dude, those people are crazy about that game, buying the Butterfingers and shit.
I bought the Butterfingers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
the
did.
cross marketing's crazy with that.
When it was Final Fantasy VII Remakes promo, they let you get Crunch Bars for that, so I did that because Crunch Bars in yogurt is a fun combo. And then this time for Butterfingers, I was like, God damn you guys! And I was like, I saw, oh hey, one of the eligible products for this promo is a bag that has like the little mini candy bar
Yeah.
versions of the stuff Crunch and Baby Ruth and Butterfinger. So I got that, so at least have some variety. And then I was like, oh yeah, because my sister's the one who plays the 14. I was like, yo, okay, the code's yours, and she was really happy.
This is gonna be my last
Aw.
word on 14, but
Mhm.
I bought into the Butterfinger promo twice because my wife and I both play,
Yeah.
and that's fine. I realize I'm a schmuck, but I'm angry because they changed the recipe of Butterfinger.
I was gonna say, like,
Tastes more. It's
I
like
don't
more of a
remember
wafer.
Butterfinger sticking this bad to my teeth.
Yeah,
it's more
it
of like
is.
a wafer than a chocolate bar.
Yeah, and I'm not happy about it. They changed the recipe of Butterfinger. They changed the recipe of Coke Zero, and I'm getting tired of it.
It's like, enjoy this thin layer of chocolate as this peanut butter flavored amalgamation begins to disintegrate your teeth. I'm like,
And
great.
that's all I got to say about that.
Wendy's also snuck in a new chicken tenders formula in 2020.
Those
They thought that they could get
bastards.
away with that. We found out.
Not in hell year 2020. We already got
Yeah.
so much else on our plate.
Kojima Frequency's
Exactly.
on the
Nintendo's on
case.
us.
All right, Joey, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you
if
so
you
much for
wanna-
having me. Genuinely,
man, it was fun.
This has been a good time. Got to talk about Gundam. Got to talk about a Konami game.
I'm gonna have to play that P-Cross game.
Yeah, man, if you want to plug where people can find you online, you can go ahead with that.
I mean, I'm on Twitter. You know, just Shinogu SHINOGU. I don't tweet often, but you know, I appreciate followers. I don't know. Just Twitter. You know, social media is a hellscape. So, you know, just
All right with that.
yep. As they say in that one show, there's nothing fun about social media.
All right, man. Thanks again for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Anytime.